Hello everyone and welcome to another installment of Photo Finds. This episode is for October 7th, 2014. I'm your host, Nick Russo. Thanks so much for stopping by. It is October, ladies and gentlemen, and I urge each and every one of you to get out here to Central Florida and attend the theme parks because we're having some nice weather now. With that said, though, we are not starting in a theme park this week. We're actually getting started, as you can tell by this sign here. We're heading over to Loews Portofino Bay Hotel on Universal Orlando property. We're taking the water taxi. That's where this photo was taken, over on the water taxi dock from City Walk. And we're heading over, and that's the first shot we're going to see, is from the water taxi of Loews Portofino. Now, this resort very closely resembles the real Portofino Harbor on the Italian Riviera. That's what it's based off of. Heading in, you can see the color palette, and this is kind of the color palette for the entire hotel, kind of muted, not very vibrant, kind of a dull color base. That doesn't mean it's a dull hotel, that's just the way it looks. And one of the main draws as you come into the harbor here is they have these boats anchored down, and if you look at a picture of the real Portofino Harbor in Italy, there are always boats docked and anchored out there, but they don't look like this. They're not kind of like rowboats and skiffs. These days it's more modernized. I believe the hotel, this resort, was based off of and modeled after the more classic Portofino Harbor. This is one of the guest wings, the West Guest Wing. All of these buildings are made to look like storefronts and town buildings, but they are all guest wings. Bice Restaurante is one of their restaurants that they have on property. Open only for dinner, I believe. This is the view you get from the staircase up to the restaurant. And the Bice is a proud participant of the magical dining experience that they have going on in Central Florida right now. This isn't a seating area. This is just a waiting area as you wait to be seated to go into Bice for dinner. And just getting a look at more of the Italian architecture that they have going on up to the main pool. And this is the pool here. Not very much going on out here right now, but that's because we had a kind of severe thunderstorm heading into the area at this time when this picture was taken. Not to say that there's a lot going on at other times of the day. This is kind of a quiet resort, so keep that in mind if you planned on staying here. A lot of couples here. It's not a very lively atmosphere. They have a bar, though, over here on poolside. And the kiddie pool over here. This is the slide that they have, all themed very well. A lot of concrete rock work going in around the pool itself. And they have one pool table over here poolside. The Mandara Spa is over here by the pool as well. There are a couple pools, but the one we just saw is the main kind of family pool. We're not going to get a look inside the spa because it's more of a private setting, but we're heading into the villa pool now. And this is it has a much different feel than the main family pool. Get a look here, it's dead quiet over here, so this is where you go to relax. If you're going to be over here, do not make noise. It's a very relaxing atmosphere, and over to the right of the pool, they have a bocce ball court as well. And you can also rent out these cabanas. We're up on the second floor now, over by a patch of grass that I'll show you in a moment that you can use to rent out for weddings and things like that, but this is a aerial shot of the villa pool. A fountain over by the pool as well. And there's an overview shot of the backside of the resort. Very quiet garden kind of feel. The Piazza Central is kind of the main outdoor spoke or hub. I mean, the hub of the entire resort. At this time, unfortunately, not much going on out here. As I said before, it is a very quiet resort, but this is the main hub, outdoor hub. Heading on into the main lobby, this is the kind of passageway between the Piazza Central and the main lobby. But we're going to make a quick detour here and look around the meeting area and then head down into the convention space and ballroom area. Gonna look up some of the artwork in the convention center. And before we head into the main lobby, just gonna stop into the gift shop that they have here. This is the main hotel gift shop, and they have some shirts and merchandise based around the hotel, and also just kind of Italian themed items as well. The Godfather you see here, and some sports stuff to the right. I didn't get a picture of that, but just some Italian-based merchandise. Now we're heading into the actual lobby itself. Going to get a look at the seating area here, and this is the Concierge Desk. Heading outside now, this is the grab-and-go and kind of cafe that they have set up. This is always open. There's a look up at the menu boards. They serve sandwiches and some pizza and various things like that. Right next to that cafe is the gelato and ice cream not stand, it's the store. And they're building a new one, which we'll see as well in a moment. Right around the corner from that, they have a gallery. I only got one shot in before I was told that the artists don't want pictures being taken in here, but some fine art is up for sale in this gallery. Right next to the gallery is the Universal Studios store, which is a given for any Loews hotel, as it's on Universal property, of course, and inside you can find all of your classic Universal memorabilia and merchandise. Heading outside, we're going to get a few more shots at the main courtyard, and this is a very accurate representation of what the courtyard looks like at the Portofino. It is gigantic. There is a ton of space out here, and I think that's just very true to the Italian inspiration. Alright, and that is going to do it for our tour of Portofino Bay. Now we're heading over to Hollywood Studios. The American Idol experience is closed. It has been for quite some time now. We're just getting a look at the building. It's very generic now. Out over here, this is new, a photo opportunity for the show Once on ABC. Again, just getting a look up at the very generic now blue building where American Idol once was. And here's a look at the empty queue. Heading over to the streets of America, the Osborne lights are going up. They're in the process of going up. They need several months to put up all of these lights and queue them up and get everything nice and pretty for the holidays. Getting a look at some of the details that they have here. So they're not only putting up the lights, they're also adding in the artistic details as well. So kind of some revealing stuff. And I have to be honest, it's very odd to see in October, seeing all these Christmas decorations. A lot of people weren't paying attention to it. Maybe they don't want to spoil the spirit just quite yet, or maybe they didn't even know what was going on. But if you do, it's kind of strange to see these Christmas trees up here right in the beginning of October. Behind some construction walls, they have various larger decorations going in. To me, it didn't look like anything was too new from years past. A lot of the same stuff is going in, including this Peace on Earth globe up here and the angels. Maybe some stuff was in new areas of the streets of America, but it all looked like decorations that we have seen before. The Wandering Oaken's Trading Post store has found itself a new home over here behind the Honey, I Shrunk the Kids set. A lot of it is the same merchandise is being sold as it was in its previous location. What's new is some of the decorations up on the walls and over by the rafters. And if we head around the corner over here, you can see that the winter-themed trees, the snow-covered trees, the pine trees are still in place, heading on into the Frozen Funland itself. Now, the Frozen Funland location has shrunk from what I remember in its previous location. It was a little larger, and there's no ice skating rink over here, but they do have some snow, some pretty real snow. Actually, it was real ice that kids could play with. The store, Wandering Oaken's itself, is a little bigger than it was in its previous location, and it's laid out in a way where there's a lot more flow. They only allow a certain amount of guests into the store at a time, which also helps, but there wasn't a lot of crowding going on, and it's designed a lot better than it was in its previous spot. The Backlot Studio Tour at Hollywood Studios has been closed. It has been for a little over a week now. The building and the facade here, as well as the tram, still remain, but the signage is down, and they have cast members out here telling guests what has happened, that the ride has closed. And now, they haven't been doing this the entire time. This is relatively new. They have cast members out here with hula hoops, I guess giving the guests a little bit of something to alleviate the pain. Maybe it was their favorite attraction, and they had to break the news to them, but they had hula hoops, so Never fear. And on the way out, the last thing we'll see is they have changed the sign over here on the back of the Chinese Theater to Alexander and the Terrible, Horrible, No Good, Very Bad Day, opening October 10th. Alright folks, that is going to do it for this week in Photo Finds for October 7th, 2014. I'm your host, Nick Russo. Thank you so much for watching, and until next week, have fun guys. Bye.